Zeus was a very loving deity, and a significant part of ancient myths describes the adventures of his offspring. And episodes of the love life of Zeus inspired many artists and sculptors in all eras. So let's remember the most famous lovers of Zeus today. The wife of the Spartan king. Zeus penetrates to her in the form of a beautiful swan, and without leaving the image, so to speak, takes possession of her. As a result, she lays eggs, from which divine children hatch: Pollux, Castor's twin brother, and Helena the Beautiful, the one who started the Trojan War. The scene of Leda's seduction by a swan gave many creators no rest. There are many options. There is also quite shameless, Francois Butcher. Know that usually a swan, closely pressed to a lady, is most likely Zeus, seducing Leda. Zeus was not confused this time by the fact that Io was a priestess of his own divine consort Hera. The master of conspiracy, Zeus, visiting Io, covered the earth with a dense dark cloud so that no one, read, wife, could see anything from above. Hera, of course, understood what was going on. She ordered the cloud to disperse. In a panic attack, Zeus turned Io into a cow. They say, "I don't know, there are all sorts of grazing here." Hera guessed everything and asked for this cow from her husband as a gift. To refuse meant to admit his guilt, so Io became the property of the goddess. Hera sent a horse flea on her, fleeing from which Io walked around half the world. The sea along which she ran, out of sympathy for her, was called the Ionian. The strait through which she crossed was called the Bosphorus, Cow Ford. Only many years later, Io was bewitched by her would-be lover and gave birth to her son Epaph, who became the king of Egypt and the progenitor of many great heroes. The princess of the city of thieves. In a fit of passion, Zeus swore to Semele to fulfill her every wish, and not just like that, but swore by Styx. He made a sacred vow that even the gods could not break. Hera inspired Semele with what to wish: to see God in all his might and with all the attributes of power. A mortal could not physically bear this sight, but there was no way back. She was literally torn apart. Zeus only managed to snatch the child and hide it in his own thigh until the deadline. Thus was born Dionysus, Bacchus. And the Titanides did not escape the love of Jupiter, who appeared to her in the form of a quail. Hera especially disliked her, pursued her all over the earth, not giving her a place to give birth. There are many versions on this topic, but they all agree on one thing: she gave birth to twins on the island of Delos. Artemis was born first, and immediately began to help her brother Apollo be born. After that, Latona could be calm. Their children were her reliable protection. They killed everyone who offended their mother, or whom she asked to kill. Perhaps almost the only passion of Zeus, who did not suffer from the revenge of his wife in any way. The name of this Phoenician princess was given to the continent. Jupiter appeared to her in the form of a beautiful bull. The bull was so beautiful that the princess jumped on his back, and he took her by sea to Crete. From this union, 3 sons were born, including Minos, the king of Crete, the one who will have a labyrinth for the Minotaur, the founder of the great Cretan civilization. By the way, the same Minos was considered such a just ruler that after death he would become one of the judges of the souls of deceased people in the underworld. Well, a very popular scene in art. Our god-lover penetrates the princess of Argos in the form of golden rain. The fact is that the heroine's father was predicted that his grandson would kill him, so he imprisoned his daughter in a room with a single hole in the ceiling. The rain poured through it. In this image, Jupiter conceived a son. It was Perseus. Very soon Perseus will defeat Medusa Gorgon and marry Andromeda. In the end, he would really kill his grandfather, completely by accident. Unsuccessfully throws a disc at sports competitions. This lady of the heart of Zeus got not from one, but from 2 goddesses. Callisto was the daughter of the king of Arcadia, a virgin who decided to devote herself to Artemis. Artemis is a virgin goddess, so of course her entire retinue was prescribed the strictest purity. No. But, as you know, the forbidden fruit is sweet, and all sorts of traditions in the daughter's retinue were a trifle for Zeus. Once, while bathing, Artemis noticed Callisto's suspiciously rounded tummy. The goddess was furious, tearing up and throwing up, but since the Pope was involved in the case, it ended with Callisto being expelled from Artemis' retinue in disgrace. Lonely and unhappy, Callisto wandered the world. In her wanderings, she gave birth to a son. Hera did not doze off, but planned a sophisticated revenge. After waiting for the baby to be born, she turned Callisto into a bear. When the boy grew up and started hunting, Hera arranged for him to kill his own mother without recognizing her. However, Zeus saved the bear and turned it into the constellation Ursa Major. Later, their son was also transferred to the sky in the form of the constellation Ursa Minor. But Hera was not satisfied with this. She convinced Poseidon to forbid both bears to descend into the ocean like other stars. Of all the constellations, only one of them does not go beyond the horizon. Not single virgins, as they say. One day Zeus took a fancy to a beautiful young man, the Trojan prince Ganymede. Zeus didn't just seduce him. He turned into an eagle, grabbed Ganymede, and took him to Olympus, granted him immortality and eternal youth. Since then, the young man lived next to Zeus and served the gods as a cupbearer. He poured nectar for them at feasts. Well, Hera had to put up with it.